And a good spiritual morning to you once again. I'm Father Cosmas. Thanks for joining me today for a quick chat and, of course, our morning cup of coffee. And I wanted to talk a little bit today about something that happened recently in the news. And it's not necessarily Lenten themed, so you might think it's not incredibly appropriate for this time of year, but it happened nonetheless. O.J. Simpson died. And we're all, of course, very familiar with O.J. Simpson, with his life and everything that happened. And so I wanted to touch upon that for a second, just for a minute today, short video, to talk about, O.J. Simpson, not his life or anything that has to do with the trial and the verdict and all that stuff, but more how he lived his life, how that impacts us in terms of one simple thing, one simple word, legacy, right? What legacy do we leave behind when we pass on? How do we want to be remembered? Now, O.J. Simpson, this amazing athlete, right? Football player, the Juice, star running back, one of the greatest of all time, leaves that, becomes an actor, a comedic actor. He's very successful at it. He's talented. He's good. He's charismatic. He's likable. Then, of course, certain events happen after that, which change his legacy, how he will be remembered. And you can see that, unfortunately, in how people are treating him and how they are talking about him now after he is dead. And but it gets me thinking about, for us, what is our legacy? How do we want to be remembered? Now, we're not all larger than life figures that are leaving a footprint and an impact in society at large, but we touch lives around us. We're leaving behind relatives and children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, friends, family, acquaintances, whatever it might be. We're leaving behind, when we pass, people that will remember us. How will they remember us? What will they say about us? What words will they use to describe us? And so it can be a motivating factor for us, that we can have intentionality and say, well, I know I'm going to leave a legacy behind. What is that legacy going to be? How will people remember me? I want them to remember someone who is kind and patient and giving and loving and gentle, right? Charitable. I want them to remember a good person, in short, for us, a good Christian. And that's something that we want to leave behind as our legacy. And if we know that, we should be intentional about what we're doing every day to make sure we are that person. So that's the person that will be remembered. It's part of what we try to do. And something significant and important for us to think about. Not just because we want to be selfish, because we want to be thought of well, but also we want to set an example for people. The legacy that we leave behind is more about setting an example, a good example for the people that are left, to sort of say, you know what, I remember so-and-so, and I always remember this. They were always very welcoming. They always had a kind word to say. They were always joyous. They were very patient. Whenever I needed something, they always were the first to help me. And you know what, I really admired that about them, and it inspires me to want to do that also. And so then for us, what a blessing, because we're sort of benefiting from those blessings even after we've passed. It's like gaining interest on an investment even after the fact. You're still accruing interest on that investment by all those lives that you touch. They remember those wonderful attributes. They remember those wonderful things that we did and say, I'm going to do that too. I want to be like that. And so that I can think that way. And that's really inspiring. And how great is it to be inspiring to people? And to inspire, it's so difficult, let alone to inspire from beyond the grave. But we have the potential of doing that if we think about the fact that, like it or not, we're going to leave a legacy. Like it or not, there's no way around it. People will remember you. The question is, how will they remember you? What will the legacy be? Do we want to inspire people constantly to be better Christians? Or do we want to be an example of a behavior that people, well, they don't want to imitate? And we're not remembered maybe in the fondest or most flattering of light, much like the O.J. Simpson situation. People are remembering him, unfortunately, for the trial and for the murders and for the verdict. Of course, that was a case that was much larger than itself. It was about American society and about racial injustice. But the reality is that's part of now the legacy. And how are we impacting our legacy? And we do it in little ways. We want to make sure that we're leaving behind something positive that will move people and inspire people, and we'll do that each and every day. Amen.